at the podium for a 30-second rebuttal. Are you wanting to take me up on that offer?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, Janet Wilson, you have 30 seconds when you're ready.
When I was growing up, we had recreation. And what it was, kids had a place to go where they could be safe, monitored, and to do things. And if you look around, a lot of those programs have disappeared. And what we need to do is reassess. Sometimes old is new. And so if we go and reassess what's out there and make it more robust, we can give our youth something to do in the summertime besides sitting there playing video games and watching TV.
Thank you, Janet. All right, I think we are ready to move into our third phase, which will be candidate-directed questions. So you will each have, let's see, it says 2.5 minutes to answer these questions that are geared towards each candidate specifically. And we'll actually be starting with John Stevens this time. So if you'd like to approach the stand.
I didn't quite understand what you were going to do.
Yeah, so I can explain it again. So phase 3, we're moving into candidate-specific questions. So I'm just going to be asking each of you different questions, and you'll have the opportunity to respond. You'll have 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. What are your plans to help better the quality of life for the low-income and undeserved community in District 1?
District 1 has a lot of housing that needs to be worked on, upgraded. We have hired a new lady. I believe she has a degree in sociology for the MABCD. That is the division of the city and county that inspects properties. And some of our local properties have not been maintained, and those folks need to have a chance to review what is possible to fix their home with this person and see if there's any program she can tailor for that particular property and help these folks maintain their home. We need to keep these properties on the tax rolls. We need to help these folks as best we can, maybe that calls for a new program, which this is not the place to discuss the new program, but I call it a TIF. You know, we give these people TIFs downtown. This will drive some of the big boys nuts to hear me say a TIF for someone that needs $30,000 to fix a low-end property. But TIF stands for tax increment financing. And these folks might need some way to finance the materials if they do the labor themselves. Then there are other institutions like CDC, the other two, Ann Fox, I've forgotten the name of her program temporarily, but in the Mennonite housing, these folks also have ways to help with some of the redevelopment of our properties that need to be upgraded. When we upgrade properties, it upgrades our entire community.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brandon Johnson, we'll have you approach the stand next. I'll allow you 2.5 minutes to respond. It appears you've had a lot of discussion regarding some of your endorsement as of late. You listed an individual, Pastor Wade Moore, as a person who endorses you. However, he wrote a letter stating he did not. Would you care to explain?
I would. And first, let me address Mr. Kennard. So in full transparency, again, I'm running on that. We had a technical glitch in our system that hurt our financial report, and we want to make sure that every citizen can see an accurate, detailed financial report. So we took the time necessary to make sure that it was accurate, and it has been submitted. And we reached out to Kansas Governmental Ethics to let them know as soon as it happened, and we've been working with them and we got it submitted. You should be able to see it soon. I hope that you all check it out. It is detailed, and I look forward to hearing your responses about it. As far as this endorsement is concerned, Bishop Moore and I had a conversation. I released a statement about this, but months ago, he and I had a conversation about an endorsement. He let me know that if it was a partisan race, he would not. Since it was nonpartisan, he had no issue. Efforts of others in this campaign have made this a partisan issue. Therefore, he retracted his endorsement. I let the community know by releasing the statement. Bishop Moore himself actually commented on my statement if you go to my Facebook, and he thinks that this is getting out of hand. It's sad that, again, that we as a community, when you look at people of color and what we deal with here now today, that we're attacking each other. We need to stop that. We need to focus on the issues in this campaign. How is that going to put food on your plate? How is that going to make sure you get a living wage job? How is that going to make sure transportation is fixed and your community is safer? Let's talk about those ideas and those issues. And again, as Bishop Moore said, let's run this race. That comment's on my page, clear as day for anyone to see. Outside of that, I don't have any more statements about it. Bishop Moore has put his cell phone number out. You can reach out to him if you have any more questions. He'll happily respond. But again, he responded on the post that I made in the statement, and I've talked to him via phone about this entire situation.
Mike Kennard? No.
No rebuttal.
No rebuttals. Thank you. Mike Kennard? If you go approach the stadium, wow, the podium. All right, you have 2.5 minutes to respond. You're the only candidate that agrees with the closing of the pool. Is this correct? All right. They're also looking at moving the youth football games out of the district to Stricker Soccer Complex.
Striker? Yes.
Striker. Why are you against the improvements of McAdams Park?
Well, first of all, I am not against the improvements of McAdams Park. We're always talking about what I'm against, but let me tell you what I'm for. Okay, we have the opportunity to bring our park into the 21st century. These splash pads and what they can do with these splash pads are simply amazing. We have 100,000 cars going down this highway. If we make this into a regional draw that they can come down off that highway, come into our park and go through a water feature just to cool off, that will be an amazing thing. That is economic development. It's already been approved by the council, so it's something that we just move forward on. We need your input or our input to actually design this the way it needs to be. You have a little league baseball over there, you have tennis over there, you have basketball courts over there. Let's put a cover over that basketball diamond so that it's more easy, so that it can be used throughout the day. We can do so much more with this splash pad concept. How about building a pet run? Or there's a side over on the west side, on the east side, that's not being utilized by the community. If we make a dog park out of this with the splash pad features, again, that's something unique. People driving on the highway will come down the highway and say, hey, there's a splash pad down here for my dog. I can get him out the car, we can let him run a little bit, get cooled off. I mean, it just, we have to reinvent ourselves. We're holding on to a monument, holding on to a memory. Swimming pool is not where it's at with this whole concept. That's a monument. Let's move forward to a movement. Let's move our community forward into the 21st century. We can't hold on to these old things. If McAdams was the only opportunity for these kids to swim, I'm with you. But that it is not the only thing for them to do. If we have to give them free passes to go to the YMCA, let's do that. I will be all in support of that during the 4 years that I am on this council. But to simply fund a pool that nobody is using, I can't get with it. Okay, let's move into the 21st century, build the best, the coolest splash pad that we can build. And let's help everybody. Thank you.
Lights to rebut.
No rebuttal.
No rebuttals.
on this
You said we could rebut.
That was on the first.
That was on the previous.
So I can say something in a minute about that.
No, when she,
In closing statements, you can add anything that you'd like to. All right. Janet Wilson, I'd like you to approach the stadium, or podium. I keep saying stadium. Apologize. You'll have 2.5 minutes to respond. Question is, when Mr. Wade Moore wrote a letter refuting the endorsement claim, you publicized this allegation. As a result, there have been claims made that you're participating in partisan politics. Would you care to expand upon this?
Yes. My consultant called Wade Moore and asked him about the endorsement that was in the community voice. Wade Moore responded with the letter about misinformation or misinterpretation. Either way, I don't have a problem with it. I'm not partisan, this is a nonpartisan race. But Wade Moore felt strong enough to respond to that with a letter. We need to keep it clear. This is a nonpartisan race. But when you put things out in print, you should be able to back them up and stand with them and stand for them. So either Wade Moore is lying or Brandon is lying. Who's lying? And so we need to find out, because if we're going to give people a position, we need to know exactly where they stand and what they stand for. And if it's something this trivial, as he says, and we need to move on, well, let's move on. But let's find out what's going on, because you can't fix what you go confront. And let's make it perfectly clear, this was not a partisan issue. It was a question that was asked. And not only Wade Moore was the one who said he did not endorse him, but there were two other people who said they weren't endorsing Brandon that was on that flyer. So let's make it perfectly clear. Now, when you go for city council, anything that you put in print, you need to be able to stand behind. There shouldn't be an issue with who said what, when, where, how, and why. So just keeping that clear. Now, when you look at who you're putting in there, let's make sure that they are squeaky clean and that they can stand up to and behind what they say and what they put in print. Thank you.
Yes.
Brandon, I'd like to invite you back up to the stage. And based on that response that I just got from Wilson upon further investigation, she did mention that there were two others that said they did not endorse you. So would you like to address that comment that was made?
Ms. Wilson didn't name the other two, so I don't have a response for that, but let me read Bishop Moore's response. Hello everyone, this is Bishop Moore. I think this is getting too deep. I'm available to speak to any and everyone who may have questions. Me and Brandon have known each other for a long time, and like I stated, he's an awesome young man. Nothing negative between us. Let's all move forward and run the race. God has a plan for our city. Anyone can call me anytime, 316-304-5479. God bless.
Okay. All right, we will be moving into the final round, which is phase 4. We will be wrapping up with some closing statements, and we will again be starting with Brandon Johnson, and we will go to John. So Brandon, you can go back up to the stage, and you will each have about 3 minutes to have a closing.
All right. My name is Brandon Johnson. I'm asking for your vote August 1st again to advance opportunity throughout the heart of the city. I'm going to make sure that we address the issues and not the distractions. I'm going to focus and fight for you in this community as I have been for more than a decade now. When it came to making sure we had better law enforcement community relations, I was there. I was working with Interim Chief Mosley and now Chief Ramsey to make sure those things happen and address the needs of our community. When it comes to economic development, I've been there. I've been working with State Senator Aletha Fausto on the Kansas Reinvestment Act, which will invest dollars into low-income communities to make sure that small businesses can grow. So if you have a business and you need some new equipment or you need to fix up your infrastructure, this bill will do so, and Senator Fausto is going to continue to introduce that until it becomes law. When it comes to transparency, as I said earlier, I've been there. Anytime something's going on that I can find out about, I will let you know about the meetings, the location, and to get that information. Again, I continue to work for this community. My wife and I live in this community. My wife does a lot of work in this community. I'm asking for your vote once again to make sure that our young people have the same opportunities as others, so that we do invest in McAdams. Not only the pool, but the area. Not only the area, but the football field, so that we can have the same opportunities as those out by Stryker. It's time that we pay attention to our neighborhoods and invest in those and make sure, again, that those opportunities are there. District 1 needs a fighter after Levanta Williams is done. I am that fighter. I will continue to be there and work with you and stand with you. I'm asking for your vote, not just for me, but for our young people and our future in this city. I know that we can and will make a better district, which will make a better city. Again, we are only as strong as our weakest link. And if we continue to overlook, divest, and ignore different parts of District 1, we will not be the city that we could be. So it's time that we do that. I'm asking for your support and your vote to make sure we do it. And again, I'm taking your voice to City Hall, and I want you to come with me. It will not just be Brandon Johnson down there voting and in the seat. You will be there too. And I will make sure and invite you to every possible table we can get you at and put out information regularly about what's going on. I've committed to a show on K-Sun to make sure I continue to inform the community of what's going on. I've committed to host meetings at least every quarter outside of District Advisory Board and outside of breakfast with the community and those concerned to make sure we are educating about what's going on in the city so you know the ins and outs of policy and so we can hear your ideas because your ideas are what's matter. Our voice matters and too often it's ignored. So I'm running to make sure our voice matters downtown and we continue to bring people there. Again, we will focus on the issues. We will not focus on distractions. We will make a difference. I'm asking for your vote August 1st.
All right, thank you, Brandon. John Stevens?
Well, it's an interesting campaign. We all have some good ideas and we've got some things to think about. One of the ideas of my campaign, in fact, this is the basis of my campaign, is neighborhoods need to be first. I'm sick and tired of the developers, the key construction boys and the folks downtown who keep asking for TIFs and free money. And they have spent millions and millions of dollars downtown. And if we don't do something to stop it, folks, it's going to keep on and our neighborhood issues will not get fixed. We will not get the police we need. We will not get the fire department that we need. We will not have the animal control officers that we need. And we won't get to do the housing projects that we need to do. None of this will get done if we don't stop giving in to the special interests in downtown Wichita. They have an obsession to put another project together. This is why they run the city and the county together, so they can get everybody to vote for their special project. Because if the county won't approve it, it won't work for the city. And I'm telling you, it's a serious problem. And lately I've seen an unhealthy trend of neglect of our neighborhoods for the sake of the downtown building blocks of our city, our neighborhoods. Not Douglas, downtown, not all those apartments and hotels. They've spent millions on that stuff, $41 million. I've got a brochure if anybody's interested. $41 million on the water wall. And that Jack DeBoer has walked off with a giant sack of cash. And did anybody at the city negotiate him out of that? No. They gave him another piece of property. The city spent $900,000. You know where all those apartments are built, just over the viaduct there. You can see all those banners. They don't even do the Delano requirements in that neighborhood. I don't really care what he does, except this guy doesn't deserve to have your tax money. But they spent $900,000 and leased that to him for $1 a year. That's ridiculous. That's not even negotiation. That's just good old boys downtown passing out your money and my money. And I don't like it. I'm sick of it. So pick one of us, but pick one of us wisely, because some of that downtown stuff needs to stop.
Thank you, John. All right, Janet Wilson.
Again, my name is Janet Wilson, and I need you to vote for me by August 1st for City Council. I am a chairperson of the Wynn Community Garden, where we have distributed over 2,000 pounds of food from the Northeast community in the past 6 years. My passion to serve has grown like the garden we grow. We multiply from a small seed. I believe in the community and that it takes a village, and our neighborhood motto is, do what you can for yourselves. That gives you empowerment to ask the city, the county, and the state, federal government to help you where you can. I believe in coordination, partnering, and collaboration. With these, that we can effect change for a better quality of life for all citizens. I feel I am the most qualified because I am the most educated. I have been in the community for over 20 years serving. I've served as a United Way loan executive for Boeing. I've served on the Community Services Board for the YMCA. I'm a community board member for League 42, a board member for the Wichita Independent Neighborhoods, chairman of Community Gardens, member of the Vicious Dog Advisory Council for the City of Wichita, appointed board member for District 1 Advisory Board, president of A. Price Wooded Neighborhood Association, president of the Northeast Area Council. I volunteer for VITA, which is Volunteer for Income Tax Assistance, where we do income tax assistance for anyone in the city of Wichita, especially 6721408 and 19. Free. I'm a member of Neighborhoods USA, which is NUSA, where we attend annual conferences and we put forth best practices. We bring them back and implement them in the city of Wichita. I'm the member of Kansas Leadership Council, and I tutor and mentor those in the community. And one of my finest moments was when one of my students graduated from Wichita State this past May with 2 degrees, one in criminology and one in sociology. So I know what I'm doing, and I do it well. I have a BA in liberal arts, I have a BA in business, and I have a master's in business operations. I know how to read budgets. I know ROIs, ROEs, that's return on investment and return on expense. So I know how to read budgets. So when they try to put something past us that says you need to do this or we don't have the money, I know where to find the money because I'm qualified to look for it. Thank you, and I expect you to vote August 1st. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
All right, and final closing statement, Mike Kennard.
And now I gotta follow that. Ms. Wilson is the most educated, but I will put my resume up to get against any of these candidates. A famous quote that I usually go by is, people may doubt what you say, but they'll always believe what you do. And just look at the things that have been done by me in this community. I've served this community well over 20 years. I've worked at the credit union. I've worked at Community United Credit Union, the Kansas Minority Business Council to help small business development. I have experienced multi-million-dollar budgets on the Wichita School Board. So I have been there, done that, and we hit the ground running. Now, it's as I started this thing, let's not make issues the dividing point, because these issues will come and they will go. Look a little deeper. Look into each one of these candidates and look at our character. Okay? You got to have integrity when you do this position. You got to be able to believe what we say. And to say I got a glitch on my report and can't file it on time, we knew about this report when we filed. And now there's a glitch. Well, according to PICA, they sent him out a letter saying that he didn't talk to them. They said we got to send a letter out to remind him to file this report. Well, I got a phone too, and I do text people. And when I seen the endorsements, this is a text that I got back from one of the endorsers, which is Senator Faust Cadeau. I just spoke with Rod Houston, and he said that he did not authorize Brandon to use his name, nor use his name as an endorsement, and neither did I, because I told him he could say that we worked together, not that she actually endorsed him, that they had worked together. So again, look a little deeper when you look into these candidates. We can tell you anything. And when we do it very eloquently and professionally, we tend to believe it. So far as McAdams Park development goes, they are not closing McAdams Barry Sanders Field. They will utilize that for Thursday night games so that we can still play football in our neighborhood. But repurpose that field. I see the Bulldogs over there practicing right now. So we just got to grow as a community. Look at Stryker Park and let's build a complex so that we can bring major tournaments to our city. So instead of us driving to Topeka, let them drive to Wichita and have these tournaments. We have so much potential with this park. Let's move into the 21st century, build the splash pads the best we can build them, making them the coolest and make them a city draw, a regional draw, and bring people off that highway and bring them down into our park. And once we get them into our park, then they have access to our community. And the way we build our businesses, we have to co-op. We got to get our business owners to actually pool their monies together. And then actually have our money pooled together.
Time.
I understand. Let me just make my final point. And that way we can develop our businesses. Because we lack access to capital. As a small business owner, I know firsthand. But the community has to put skin in the game. Thank you very much.
In my hand, there is a text message from Senator Aletha Fauske-Dux, where I asked, did you have your name removed from the ad that we put out an endorsement? The answer is no. The answer is no. I talked to Senator Fauske-Dux yesterday, and she said it again. If you all would like to call Senator Fauske-Dux or anyone else who has endorsed me, please do so. But I have the evidence right here that she said that from her and her phone number. So I wanted to make sure I corrected that because that is not true. Thank you.
I think that concludes the debate. So Marquise Murphy would like to come up.
All right, thank you guys so much again for coming. Please, we have an opportunity to sit and talk to some of the candidates. If you have any other questions, to address them. I had a young man that was here earlier. He was wanting to know some specific things, and we weren't able to put it in. One of the things that we failed to do is to say that we had people submit their questions on our social media. We asked that to happen, and so that's how we got the questions. It wasn't all Teenview. It was just different questions that were coming up as we put out the requests, and that's how we were able to come up with a lot of the questions. Towards the end, when we saw that there were some different issues that were stirring up in the community, we wanted to give the candidates an opportunity to express their position and then, you know, so that we know where it's at, because it was already public and it was already on a lot of different media. So we thought this would be a great forum for them to share and be able to kind of clear that out. So again, this was the very first time that our Teenview staff was able to put on a debate. Our Teenview magazine is ran by young people from the ages of 13 to 24, some high school students, some college students. And so we are excited about this. This is our Regan King. Please give her a hand. This is the first time we're doing something like this. Our goal, and we're using the Teenview platform to do this, is to get the young people into the politics, to get them to learn how to get involved, know what the issues are, and then also have an opportunity to touch each one of these candidates to be able for them to share their heart, their passion, and their issues. If it's nothing more, then how can we get more time at recess? Whatever the case may be, at least that gives them the boldness to be able to go before the candidates and then ask their questions. So please encourage young people to get involved and get going again.